Hi friends. So a few weeks ago, I started having this vision of in the woods that are right across the stream from us, where I'm sitting at right now. I stare off into those woods all of the time. Whenever I'm at the waterfall, whenever I'm anything, I'm always looking in those particular woods. There's something really drawing and alluring that always happens in there. It's not on our property, so I can't go sit in there. Otherwise, I would just film there and show you guys. But so several weeks ago, I started having this vision where I kept seeing these dark, shadowy figures, like in the woods, walking around, moving, and sometimes they would come towards me. And every time that they would come towards me, there was this woman. The best way I can describe her is a woman. And with longer hair, always wearing all white, like just very white, very powerful. This figure is, this being is. And I would hear her screaming, like this, like almost like a screech at these beings, and then was running frantically, chasing them away. And I had thought about sitting here and writing and telling her story and seeing like what it is, like what is happening. So the one day I had stopped and I had spoke and I had listened. And she delivered a message to me, a big message. And I thought, this would be a really interesting fiction book. Like I could write a story about this and spin this whole big thing, like do all this stuff. But I keep feeling really called and reminded again and again and again and again and again to just tell the message. So whenever I was asking her, I'm like, what are you doing? She came up to me and she said, you can see me? I said, yeah, I can feel you. I can see you. What are you doing? I said, who are those beings? And she said that they arrived after I got the internet here. I live in a place I do not have cell service. There's no internet. There is no connectivity to the outside world pretty much at all where I live at. And I was like, what? And she said, this is what's been brought through. Who brought this here? This was not here till now. Who brought this here? And I said, well, I mean, I brought the internet here. And she then was explaining to me that those dark beings, those beings that basically they just felt like soul suckers and stuff, that those beings are able to come through with what media we are watching, with what content we are consuming, with what we're scrolling through on Facebook. That basically, as we are scrolling endlessly, the things that catch our attention, we are allowing to come through our phones, serving as portals, serving as windows, serving as basically the key to getting in. And this morning I tried to figure out how to relay this message. And it's coming through very slowly so that way I don't get jumbled, I don't get caught up in my own words, I don't get in the way. And it was kind of interesting because how it was explained to me to explain it is that pretty much the darkness needs permission. It needs permission. And how I keep being shown that again and again and again is such a weird way to be shown it. So there was this, I think he was a serial killer. I cannot remember who it was. But he was asked how he chose his victims. And he had said, I didn't. They let me in. And the interviewers were like, what? And he's like, yeah, I just went and found the first unlocked door I could find. I believed that if somebody didn't want to be attacked, they would lock their door at night. The door was unlocked, so I just walked right in. I just came in. They let me in, so I just did what I wanted. And I keep being shown that and told that again and again and again, that that is the connecting point to all of this, is that what we're clicking on is leaving the door unlocked. It is leaving us open. It is welcoming in things that we don't understand, things that we don't have any idea as to what ramifications they will have. And she explained it even further than just on social media, just on content, just on YouTube, just on what we're watching, just on the TV and all that stuff. But it goes even further with who we spend time around. And one of the biggest points that she touched on with me, the shadow is kind of wonky, I keep getting blinded. One of the biggest things that she touched on with me was music, because I listen to music near constantly. Whenever I'm, outside, whenever I'm inside, there's always music playing because it just keeps my heart so filled and so open. And she encouraged me to share this message with you guys, to share it with whoever would listen. That right now, that just like in my previous video, I'd shared that there's a war happening right now, that there's a spiritual war going on, that what we don't realize is that we are actively participating in the war, What we don't realize is every single choice that we are making, we are fueling either the dark or the light. That right now it has become that level of black and white. There's not much room for gray anymore. That it is cut and dry. It either is or it isn't. That it's, either an apple or an orange. There's not a orange or apple. It's not a combining thing. That it is one or the other. That it is very cut and dry. I don't know why, but I just randomly started thinking about the sorting hat from Harry Potter. That we are in the process of being sorted right now. And that is a weird thing to come through. That I'll just let it come through. So right now I feel that we are in the process of being sorted, that we are being divided, that we are being corralled, just like we do with our ducks, just like we do with our other animals, that we, lean them and push them into this direction and into that direction and stuff. And that right now we are being sorted by our own actions, by the actions of our heart, by the content of our heart, by the weight of which we are, I'm not sure how to put it into words. I keep thinking about this show called Manifest. It was a really good show. If you guys haven't watched it, I suggest checking it out. It talks a lot about being called by the divine to do a lot of different things and all of this stuff. But spoiler alert, in the end of it, in order for them to reach salvation, and this is like a mainstream show, like there's so many good nuggets in so many different shows and stuff, to where like you can find so much depth and truth and nuggets and just get so many seeds planted within you. Which obviously, same thing happens with dark TV shows, with dark stuff, with dark energy, with scary movies, with things that bring forth the dark. And like, there's a reason that you feel that intensity, that fear, that anger inside of you, that all of these emotions. It's because it's the energy of the content you are consuming. If you eat fast food and you eat candy all of the time, you're not going to feel as well as if you eat whole food, if you eat well, if you eat a balanced diet of fruits, vegetables, nuts versus McDonald's. There's a huge difference in how you will feel. There's a huge difference in how your health will be reflected back to you. But in that show, Manifest, in order for them to reach salvation, their heart has to be as light as a feather. They have to let go of all of the anger, all of the grudges, all of the hatred that is within their heart in order for them to basically move forward and pass the final test. And I think right now that process of being sorted is also a process of being tested, is a process of being judged, is a process of our hearts being weighed, of seeing how much anger, how much hatred is in there. I think that is why the darkness has tried to turn my heart to stone so many times, because that is where my power lies, is within my heart, is within my ability to love. I have been able, since I was a little girl, to be able to love the way that Christ has loved, the way that Jesus has loved, the way that God has loved, the divine, whatever terminology you like to use. That level of unconditional, pure love, that no matter what has been done to me, no matter who has hurt me, or anything of the sort like that, I can still love them, and I continue to still love them. No matter what attacks have been done by another human being, I still love them because I can see that their soul is still there, that their heart is still there, and I can see the darkness that created the monster, the darkness that was used to utilize that human being as a vessel, as a weapon, as a tool, as a tactic. I don't think that enough people realize how easy it is for energies right now in this day and age to infiltrate us, infiltrate our minds, infiltrate our presence, infiltrate everything. But when you think about it right now, back in the day, sorry, I got to turn my hat so down. I mean, I know a lot of people like to look in my eyes because it makes you feel a connection, but I can't see. So I know that back in the day, it used to feel like pre-internet time, big TV, pre-tech everywhere. It used to feel like the only dangers were what was happening in your physical world, that you could just guard your heart, you could guard yourself physically, you could lock the door for, to keep intruders out. You could hang around only good, upstanding people to then stay away from the darkness. Now, the darkness is so everywhere, and it's so thrust upon us with addictions, with tech addictions, with feeling that we are compulsively drawn into the screen where you can't put it down. It's an addiction. I think right now we are all so far into addiction that we don't realize that our tolerance level for negativity, for darkness, is as strong as it is. It's just like with any other addiction, whether you smoke, whether you drink, whether you whatever. I've battled with addictions on and off throughout my life. It's just like that where, you start, we'll just use cigarettes as an example so that way I don't trigger anybody too bad. So you start with like 1 or 2 cigarettes a day and stuff. And you're just doing it because your friends are doing it or because, whatever. You just start. You need stress relief, whatever. You start with just a couple cigarettes a day. And then your tolerance for the nicotine goes up, where you need more. You crave more. You want more. And then eventually you can't remember what it was like to live without the nicotine, to live without the smokes, to live without that addiction, without that crutch. You just get by well, hurry up and I'll go vacuum the house and that way I can have another smoke. We're doing the same thing with our cell phones. As soon as I get done driving, I'm going to pull it back out to look at Facebook. As soon as I get to where I'm going, I'm going to then watch this video. Or people are doing it even while they're driving and stuff, of just scrolling, watching all of this stuff. That's not natural. That's not normal. With where the track for humanity is going right now, the trajectory for humanity is going right now, it is a terrifying reality. And I honestly do not believe that the divine will allow it to happen. I believe that something will change, something will shift, that there will be every term that I can think of right now, I think is going to flag something. Because I've realized that I think that that's part of the problem with YouTube right now, is because I talk so freely. I don't guard my mouth very well. I think that I've said too many things and triggered too many things and said too many words that are listed. Made mistakes, but that's okay. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't anything of the sort like that. But I keep seeing the same image again and again in my head of this. You guys can take from it what you want. But I do feel that there are some things that are reckoning right now. Some things that will be completely and utterly disallowed to continue on. And that right now that this message serves as a warning to be reminded that we are being tested. We are being utilized as tools. We are being used. We are being turned into weapons. And I think it's probably a good idea for you guys to start trying to figure out which side is using you. Which side you want to fight for. Which side you want to stand on. Because I think that there's going to come a time where at some point in the sorting process, some people are going to look up and realize, I'm in the wrong room. Shoot, the door just closed. I am in the wrong room. Or I'm on the wrong side of the table. And once the final sorting has happened, I think that I feel that it is one of those things that it cannot be undone. That right now we are in that process of the final sorting. And once it's been determined which, once the sorting hat finishes telling you which group you are in, once that decision has been made, it is sealed. It is final. It is complete. So I don't know. Take what you want from this. If it resonated, let me know. If you guys have been feeling or picking up on anything similar to that, I know this message is kind of a big one, kind of a big deal. But so I feel really, really called to speak on that. Yeah. There's a song that's been playing in my head since this morning. And I feel really called to sing to you guys. So please don't be all judgy and stuff. The song is called I Believe in Being Ready by Rising Appalachia. And in that song it says, God, I'm so nervous to sing. It makes me so scared to sing in front of anybody because I feel that I will be judged. I will be everything. But when I sing, my heart opens. So I will just... I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready, for the time is coming near. The song continues on with several more verses. It's only like a 2-minute song, but when you sing it, when you hear it, like I suggest putting headphones on and actually listening to the song, because you will feel so much resonating in your chest. You will feel your heart just opening wide open, and you will feel that power coming through you. You will feel yourself rising, and all of that darkness that's in your heart, you will feel it start clearing out. At least I did. I did when I listened to it this morning. I've listened to it actually several times this morning. because it just, when you wake up with a song stuck in your head, there's a message in it every single time. Every single time. But that song continues to go on about that the time is coming near, that brothers and sisters, please wake up and be ready. Have yourselves ready. Realize what is happening. Another really good song by that group. I've been listening a lot to their music because it is so heart healing. It is so grounding and centering, and it brings so much clarity and strength and cleansing to your heart. So another song by them is Resilient. That song is a very, very good one. A lyric from that song that gets stuck in my head is that my voice may be strong, my voice feels small, and I'm sure so does yours, but together we can make a mighty roar. That's one of the lyrics from that song, and it just repeats in my head again and again and again, of how on my own my voice can only carry on this property, but with you guys together, you guys can share. You guys can tell people what I said. You guys can make it so my voice travels further. And together, that is how we make a mighty roar. That we just keep speaking. That when things like this are happening, when we're feeling things, when we're noticing, God gave us the ability to have sensitivities, to have the ability to perceive energy and to feel this and to have awareness. But what good does it do if we hide it? What good does it do if we, think of if there's somebody blind that's walking in a crosswalk? They can't see the cars coming. Though I have eyes and I can see the cars coming. I can see the semis that are coming down the freeway that are barreling towards the blind man. And it's up to me to make sure that blind man is safe by giving awareness, by telling him, hey, you are about to get ran over. I know you can't hear it. I know you can't see it, but I can hear it. I can see it. Let me pull you out of the way so you don't get ran over. I feel that right now, that it is a call to action for all of us to start speaking on the truth, speaking about what we see, what we feel, what we know, because the only way to defeat the dark isn't by fighting it. It is just by saying, I am light enough. I will stand. I will be strong. I will be bright. I will be brave. And I will not stand for the darkness to wash over me or to watch it wash over somebody that I love or an innocent person or another person. Just like that being that I seen in the woods. She wasn't protecting the woods for herself. She was protecting me. When those beings were coming towards me, that's when she then would rush out and screech at them and cast them out. Cast them away from me. And she asked me and begged me with urgency and pleaded with me to watch what I watch, to watch what I consume, to watch what I'm listening to, because it just keeps bringing more and more and more right up to the property, right here. So I just want to share that with you guys. I want to leave this here before this video gets too long. So anyways, like, share, subscribe, do the thing. If this resonated with you, or if you guys got anything extra out of it, please leave a comment. Let me know and stuff. Like, just because I'm the one that's feeling stuff and I'm the one delivering the message, it doesn't mean that there's not nuggets of information for me. It doesn't mean that whenever I listen to this back that I don't gain other things from it. As a channel, a lot of times I don't remember what I talk about in videos. I don't remember what I speak on and stuff, that when the spirit comes through me, a lot of times I just step right out the way and let them speak and stuff. And that's why it's so important to use discernment, so important to recognize when that happens. These thoughts that just pop into your head, it's communication every single time. Every time. And when you accept that, when you realize that, it makes it really easy to discern light from dark. But so much of us want to be like, oh, well, you're crazy. You're crazy if you speak on this. You're crazy if you say you heard somebody say something, or you heard something, or you felt something. Who do you think it is that makes you want to, who do you think it is that wants you to feel like you are crazy, that you can't trust yourself? Because I tell you right now, you are not crazy. You can trust yourself. You absolutely can trust yourself, your senses, what you are feeling, what you are picking up on. We have these abilities, even if you don't realize that you do. Animals can sense danger. Animals can sense when a storm is coming. Ants will start crawling up out of the ground hours and hours before the first raindrop falls, because they can sense a change. They can sense something different. They can sense problems. Just like how animals will migrate to different areas that they haven't been in a long time. Where I live at right now, bears are coming back. You know, there hasn't been bears in this area for a very long time, and they're actively working on migrating back because they can feel a pull. They can feel that something is shifting, even though on our human levels, we can't see what is shifting in nature that is drawing the animals back. Because for all intensive purposes, there's a lot of like data centers coming up, and like all this land is like not ours, but land in various areas around the country and in this region specifically between fracking and the data centers. There's so much that's getting destroyed, and yet animals are coming back. Animals are being called to come this way. That's why I believe that we don't have to be afraid. I believe that we don't have to fear the dark, that we don't have to live in fear. Because right now, if you're looking around us and you're watching how animals are changing their behavior, someone is guiding them, telling them, hey, it's time to move. Come with me. Come to me, that I will keep you safe. This is the way. And I believe that if it's that important for the snails and the ants to be brought up so they are protected, I wholeheartedly believe that as a human being, that our lives are more valuable to the divine than a snail. Our lives are more valuable than an ant, than a bug, than anything of the sort like that, that we are the most precious creatures that have ever been created. That's why we can do what we can do. That's why our brains work the way that they do. That's why we can communicate. That's why we can raise animals and do all these things and do all this different stuff. And we're so multifaceted, is because we are needed. We are needed to be able to use our hands and our eyes and our mouths and our feet and every part of our body. That's why we were given them. So I'm going to leave this here before it gets too long. So anyways, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, do the things. Don't judge my singing voice. Don't judge. Do not judge. So, thank you.